I was scrolling on YouTube one day when a video caught my eye. At first, it looked normal, but something about it felt off. I clicked. A few days later, I sent the video to my friend Frenzy. That's when we realized this wasn't just a strange upload, it was the start of a rabbit hole. And at the very center of it was a story of Darkest Sword.
Today we will be taking a deep dive on this ARG and the meaning behind it. This is The Trauma That Broke His Mind.
This video, titled What an Interesting Spawn, starts with the player, who we will call Dark at the moment, loading up a world on Bedrock Edition. As Dark spawns into his new world, he happens to spawn in a hole all the way at deep slate level, almost 15 blocks deep into the hole. They survey the area, then look up and see that the hole extends into the fog distance upwards from them in the same 2x2 shape. After a brief survey of the area upwards, the video cuts. Now, let's step back and spot some things. Firstly, if you go back to when they're in the loading screen, you'll notice that there is an error at the top of the screen saying you cannot parse the texture for the copper golem. Please check if it's corrupted or damaged. Which is odd for sure, but won't really play out later. Now, when we see Dark enter the world, what you may not notice is that it's actually cut from another world entirely. You can tell because their camera is tilted ever so slightly to the left, and they fall, which is not possible to do in a new world. Additionally, the hole is not natural terrain generation, and nor is the one above him.
The second video, called Rock Bottom, starts with the footage playing again from the bottom of the 2x2 hole. Dark looks straight up for a moment, then begins mining their way out. Once they reach the top of the tunnel, they stop and stare upwards like he sees something, but there's nothing there at all. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, a wooden pickaxe appears in their inventory with no explanation. Dark eventually reaches a cave and a creeper attacks him, but nothing really out of the ordinary happens. The creeper kills him, but after respawning, he climbs right back up the staircase he mined earlier. For a few minutes, the footage is almost empty. Dark just walking and mining with nothing strange happening, and then the video ends. There's still a bit to uncover in this video. If we go back to just before Dark obtained the pickaxe, you will notice that there's a very subtle cut in the footage. Otherwise, there's nothing much to see in this video.
The third video, titled Halfway There, starts off with Dark being in a small lush cave. He does normal Minecraft behavior for the entirety of the video, even once going into third person, giving us a little peace crouch. This video doesn't hold much, except for one thing. Between timestamps 418 and 419, there's a very abrupt cut in the footage. And that's about all there is to uncover in this video.
The fourth video is called Encounter. It starts off normally, until... The figure with the iron armor behind the stone? Okay, so Dark stared at the wall, and then the thing with the armor broke a stone block. Dark backs away, and the entity places the stone back like nothing happened. After that, Dark walks back to the wall and starts breaking the stone with his fist. He breaks into a small passageway with a staircase. He opens the menu screen for a second to check if anyone was online, but to no avail. He then continues walking up a set of stairs, goes straight back through the hallway, then down another staircase, and the video ends. Okay, so there's quite a bit to unpack surrounding this entity. Firstly, we analyze its skin and notice that it's a zombie skin, evidently trying to blend in. But that begs the question, how is this possible? If you look through the marketplace on Bedrock Edition under the Skins tab, which is the only place to get skins, there's not a single one with arms out, not even in the character creator area. There's no such thing. Additionally, he is on Xbox, so no skin could be uploaded anyways, and to how the entity/player got into the world is a mystery, considering that whether or not you are on a player's friends list, you will always show up as online if you are on their world. The only way to explain that is that this is a completely different world from the one they generated, or tried to trick us into thinking that they generated, but we'll talk about this later.
The fifth video in the series, titled All Gone, features Dark reminiscing over the ruins of a broken structure, seemingly in another world and definitely in creative mode. Nothing else notable happens in that video. The only thing worth noting about this video is, in the description, it says that his father built that bridge, and that the only memory of his father is now gone. He then says in another phrase that he will pay. But who is this he in this case? Because if he, being Dark, was sad about his father, most likely died, he wouldn't want his father to pay, so who is this he's referring to? Is he the same zombie figure that we saw in the last video? The only way to find out is to watch further into the series.
This video, called No Avail, starts like most of the other videos, him just in the cave exploring, and it was all normal until 6 minutes and 13 seconds in, when he stumbles upon a mine shaft. He walks around in it a little bit, and everything is fine until... Did you see that face? The face pops up when there is no torch or light, which explains the very weird description. I keep trying, to no avail. I stepped into something's territory in the mine shaft. It loves the dark, hates the light, and ignores death. So what do we know about the creature? Not much, besides the fact that it hates light. Remember this creature for later.
The seventh video, dubbed Forgiveness, has an odd thumbnail of the same creature from the last video. It starts with iron lungs in a hole, different from the hole at spawn, but because the ceiling of that is a lush cave, and the coordinates are distinctly different. We also see the zombie figure making another appearance, this time clutching a shield. It drops Iron Lungs some bread and ladders, crouches, and leaves. Iron Lungs spends an ungodly amount of time trying to escape with the ladders before finally managing to escape to the cave above, which the area around the hole is all made out of crimson nylium. He looks around and notices a strange structure, a lightning rod mounted on a pedestal of redstone block and more crimson nylium. He looks around and sees nothing but a zombie villager on a faraway pillar. He then opens his menu, checks his social list. Everyone on it is blacked out but two names, his own and Halo 6 Defun, who does not have a zombie skin. And if we look closely at what is left unblocked, you will notice that no one there has a zombie skin. Additionally, he's the only one in the world. He closes his menu, promptly reopens it, and checks his friend list one more time, this time entirely blacked out. The next few minutes are just of him trying to escape, only to be killed by a creeper around 4.5 minutes in. He sits there on the respawn screen for a few seconds, then respawns. And this respawn just proved a big theory. He is still at the location of his spawn in this video, not the one for the first video, meaning that this world is a fake and he placed himself in the hole in that first video. He leaves the hole, regains some items, almost dies to lava, and makes his way across the lava. The next few minutes are just him trying to escape once again, until around 7 minutes and 10 seconds into the video where he dies yet again. He escapes the hole once again, and then uses a water flow to escape from his initial point. He then spends time collecting clay and moss in an attempt to escape. Around 11 minutes and 20 seconds into the video, though, his controller loses connection. He spends 40 seconds trying to reconnect it, until at around 12 minutes in, he finally gets it to work. For the next minute, he just attempts to escape, going back to the ground for some reason before pillaring up. Around 13 minutes and 15 seconds in, he finds a staircase leading to a long torchlit hall. Unless I missed a version or 5, I'm pretty sure that shouldn't spawn naturally. This must be the work of the mysterious zombie. Anyways, he ventures down the hallway without any fear or second guessing. About 45 seconds later, he walks up to the surface and finds a bunch of items that appear to belong to the zombie figure in an explosion hole. He then hesitates for a moment, only gathering the XP before diving straight into the blast hole and gathering all the dropped items. He walks over to the lake after switching his held item to leaf litter, and the footage goes black. It then, for a few frames, switches back to him at the lake with the message in chat. I'm sorry. It then goes black again, and reopens to another message. But you should have been too. He then turns around, does a full circle, eats a glowberry, and tries to replicate where he was at before. It cuts black again. He goes back with a new message. I forgive you. It cuts again to black. The final message of the video is as follows. Darkest night. Remember this for later. Iron Lungs walks around, and the video fades to black. But if we go forward a few seconds, the face appears again. I will let you hear what it has to say before I talk about it. Well, from what I got from that, it said, I should have been better from you, which was vain. So let's break this down. First of all, we may have a character connected to the zombie, and the name Darkest Night. But why was Iron Lungs apologizing to them? And why was he expecting an apology or forgiving him? For what purpose is he doing this? To answer these questions, we should look in the description of the video. It reads, I wish he was still here with me. I'm losing my mind. I'm starting to let go. And by looking back at the description of the video, all gone, we can finally pinpoint who the zombie is. It's his father. Who is behind it, we'll never know. But from these two descriptions tell us, as well as that terrible audio, he's apologizing for not being there. He's asking for apology for causing him to lose his mind. And his letting go is the forgiveness. Lastly, I decided to go look for a match to the creepy face, and surely enough, I was able to find the original, titled A Creepy Face by the user Bog Zombie on the site Newgrounds. This is all I could find on this image. No description, inspiration, nothing. Nothing that would connect it to this investigation besides its appearances. But anyways, the next video might just connect all the dots.
The 8th video, called Jaden's World, starts off normally. As soon as it begins, you can tell it's not Darker Sword in the game because it's not his skin. Let's call this guy Unknown for now. Anyways, the video starts off with Unknown just walking around. He begins placing torches to make it brighter. He stops and looks at some wolves he has in a cage, but nothing else happened. He then walks up to a small stone wall with 5 signs on it. The top one shows the date, 2017/11/7, which is probably when they made this. On the second row, the sign on the very left says Iron Lungs, which is Dark's Minecraft username. The one next to that says the 2 awesome creators of this world. The one to the right of that says Darkest Night and that he is their father. The bottom middle sign says Halo 6 a Fun, his son too, who is presumably the person recording this. He then walks away. He walks into another area where there are more signs that look like they were written by his father. They say, "Hey buddy, if you find these signs, remind me after work to play with you on Minecraft and maybe we can go mining this weekend. Love you and see you after work, bud. P.S. Take good care of those wolves for me, alright?" After he reads those signs, he destroys them. Then he runs back to the small wall with signs and breaks the one up with his dad's name. After that, he doesn't do anything else important in the video. Let's take a closer look at this video. In this video, we find some crucial details to add to our plot. Firstly, if you look at the textures, you will quickly notice that this world is from pre-1.14, or the texture update. This is further confirmed with the message wall in the world. Last having the year as 2017. If we take a look at the other boards around the world, we notice that their father never came home on that day. And that brings us to our last video.
The final video, titled Prague, starts with Halo 6 Fun on a mushroom island. He walks up the staircase in front of him, and we immediately notice that this is the same world from the previous video. He grabs TNT and a flipped steel from the chest, and proceeds to place TNT all along the bridge for the next minute or so of the video. He then, after running back and hesitating, lights the first TNT. The video cuts to black. We see another scene of a player mining up to the surface. Black again. The player is now closer to the surface, and he reaches the surface before another cut to black. He's now facing a different direction and runs and mines some more coal and stones, creating a 4-block tall tunnel. He continues normal behavior for a bit before around 3 minutes and 43 seconds in when he sees the destroyed island. He turns frantically and shakes his camera vigorously at the sight. He stabilizes himself and walks up to the ruins of the bridge. He then furiously shakes his camera, crouching and panicking before parkouring through the ruins of it. He then gets out of the cave and runs up to the message board. The message board has 2 names on it, Iron Lungs and Halo 6 Fun, but not Darkest Night like it used to. He then proceeds to break the side with Halo's name on it. Then the sign that read, "The 2 awesome creators of this world." He then, in a panic, flees the scene, and there is XP littering the ocean on his way out. He goes into the same cave from the video all gone, and the hole is deepened significantly. He hesitates before jumping down and placing a torch, then using stones to clutch his falls. He proceeds down the hole, gathering exploded lapis and redstone on the way. He continues his journey to the bottom of the cave until 8 minutes and 9 seconds in, where the video cuts to black. 2 seconds later, a message in chat appears by Iron Lung saying, "I'm gonna end you, Halo." 2 seconds later, black again. Again with the 2 seconds of black, followed by one frame of "I'm trying to move on," and cut for another 2 seconds. Another message, this time reading, "But you can't just take memories away like that." He then prepares himself to jump, wasting time for nothing before falling down as gently as possible. Then the video ends. Jeez, that's a lot to take in. First of all, we have the 2 different points of view. The first few minutes is Halo destroying the base, and the majority of it is Jaden frantically examining the broken ruins. Secondly, if we go back to the description of the video, all gone, we will notice that it says in the last line, "He will pay." Is this suggesting that Halo's already done this before? Also notice how when Jaden gets there, the message wall is still intact, but their dad, or Darkest Knight's name, was gone. When we see that Jaden destroys Halo's board, we can tell that he is in a fury with him. And if we see the message in the chat, you can notice that Jaden finds memories a way to help him let go.
Okay, so now that we've covered the basics, it's time to look into the deeper meaning of this ARG. So listen, we all know this channel is about death and despair and crisis, but do you understand the psychological meanings of it? I'll turn it over to Blue to go a bit further in depth about it.
Thank you, Frenzy. The psychological meaning of this ARG is actually quite sad yet beautiful. We must start with the first few videos, excluding all gone and ending at forgiveness. The reason why we are looking at these videos is to assess the spawn point specifically, a deep, dark hole. If we go back to the description of the video halfway there, we will notice that it says he cannot keep falling back into that hole. In terms of mental health, a hole symbolizes being trapped at the bottom of all your grief and despair. You will notice in the description of the video of forgiveness that he's starting to let go. And in that video, he gets ladders as to escape the prison that he's in, bit by bit. Another thing that symbolizes struggle in these videos is the constant attempts to breach surface, but falling back hard at ground zero. I'll hand it back over to Frenzy now to go into his channel name and handle.
Thanks, Blue. If we look at his channel name and handle, we may not notice anything off the top of our minds, and that's okay. First of all, if you look at the channel name, Darkest Sword, you will notice that it's reflecting that of his father's, Darkest Night. If you look up the simile, a sword is to a knight as a son is to, and look it up, you will come up with the result of a parent. Jaden must have been awfully close with his father. Seeing this, another interesting thing about his handle and channel name are the differences. Darkest Sword versus Darker Sword, and 5611 versus 5610. We can ignore the main part of the handle, but the numbers are the real biggie. If you look up the angel numbers for 5610 and 5611, you will come up with two results. 5610 means to beat negativity, and 5611 means to get back up if you fall mentally. These both relate to the channel in the ways of letting go of his deceased father. Let's send it back to Blue to tell the full story.
This story is quite the sad one, and here's how it goes. On November 7th, 2017, life for Jaden and his brother, who we still do not know the name of, but we'll call him Halo, is normal. His father goes to work that day and leaves reminders inside the base to take care of the wolves and remind him to play Minecraft when he gets home before leaving. They play Minecraft like usual that morning throughout the day, but that evening they get the call. They find out that their father had died sometime after he left that day, when the hospital calls to tell them that their father won't be joining them at dinner or any dinner ever again. And they're devastated. So devastated, in fact, they don't play on their world but one time until 2025. This one time is the episode titled Jaden's World, which reveals that the first video is not actually the first video. You can see this because in the first 6 videos it has the modern day textures, and in Jaden's World it's the older modern Minecraft textures.
After cross-referencing the date on the message wall with the version and items in the world, it shows that the version that this one video was in was Bedrock 1.2.0, or the Better Together update. The rest of the videos take place in more recent versions, although not certain. It has to be between the Chase the Skies and the Copper Age updates, due to vibrant visuals being set.
Back to the story. So anyways, 8 years later, Jaden decides to load a new Minecraft world. Except the world is already loaded, but it's kept perfectly to make it look like it's freshly loaded. The real story is the fact that every time Jaden dies in this world, he ends up back in the hole. This is a metaphor of psychology that he's falling back into his pit of despair and grief. When I said that he's finally starting to let go, he stopped falling into the hole, as we had already mentioned before. If you go to the videos No Avail and Forgiveness, you'll notice a creepy face. If you look up the source, the image is actually titled A Creepy Face by the user Bog Zombie on the website Newgrounds. Alone, it doesn't represent much, but combined with the description of the video encounter, we get a larger picture. The face represents the truth and the awareness of what had happened. If you think about it, it makes sense. It loves the dark. It hates the light. It refuses to die. That's the basis of a truth you don't want to face. And the drawing screams combined with the face in the next video add to this.
Looking at the video, Forgiveness, at the very end, there's another appearance of our favorite nightmare fuel, as well as some shrill screaming that forms words. I should have been better for you, which was vain. What this means is uncertain, but there is something we can clearly understand. He regrets not being better for his father. What does this mean? Does this uncover the way his father died? Well, if he regrets not being better for his father, it most likely points to suicide, which explains why his father never came home.